risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Royal Rumble edition, episode 145 of the Scholars of Wrestling Show.
There's gonna be some trouble tonight. A very Royal Rumble, that's right. We'll step into the ring and reach an understanding. When the smoke is clear, I'll be the last man standing tonight. I'm gonna settle every score tonight. They'll take back every word they said tonight. I'm gonna show the door, don't be saints or sinners. There can only be one Royal Rumble winner.
That's not the Rumble I had in mind.
Yes!
Y'all are wacky, and I love you. Of course, that's Scholar Tarek and Scholar Brian, respectively. What's up, sir?
It's Royal Rumble.
It's Royal Rumble weekend.
It's
crazy.
It's my everyone says the WrestleMania weekend is their favorite time of the year. Is
not
favorite time of the wrestling year. Not on this show.
Nuh-uh.
This show. This is the weekend of the year.
And you know what? Us. We're going to talk right about it, so let's just get right into it. But first, speaking of the Royal Rumble, let's check in with a little tiny yet important bit of backstage news.
Indeed. Let's just go right ahead and run through that curtain, throw our bags to the side, and check in on a little
backstage news.
I said throw your bag, not your glasses, Brian.
Throw my glasses, man.
Well, anyway, speaking of throwing things around and getting loud, for us, for the record, we've always been East Coast boys.
Of course.
Prime wrestling country, tri-state area, that's us. And it couldn't come as any greater news than to find out as of the day of this recording that the 2018 Royal Rumble next year is going to be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Once again.
WWE really has some balls. Okay? This is the place where the Royal Rumble was held for the Daniel Bryan 10-minute fiasco with the Roman Reigns win.
And you know what? Just for the fact that they can't do any worse than that, I don't care. It's
sure, Roman Reigns wins the WWE title next year.
Already happened. It's not nearly as bad as that.
Yeah, true.
That was one fiasco that... Oh, man. I don't even think... Roman Reigns, for the past 2 years when it came to WrestleMania Royal Rumble season, it's just not been his past 2 years. It's like, oh, we'll build him up so greatly for WrestleMania. Oh, wait, the fans still huge. Don't like him. At least he actually admitted he wants to turn heel.
Yeah, and at least in 2015, okay, the WrestleMania build-up and the match at WrestleMania was pretty good. It was pretty good. Liked it. Still not going to get the crowd over Roman Reigns. But coming off the stink of last year.
Well, anyway, that's far and far between. We already got the Roman stench out of the way.
But WWE, I applaud your balls.
And expect us to be there. Expect us to be there next year.
It will be our mission as the Scholars of Wrestling over the next year to acquire tickets to the Royal Rumble.
Scholars road trip, yay!
Oh yeah, and also SummerSlam as well. Because remember, SummerSlam's at Barclay. We have a very busy year for us.
Yeah, we'll see how the next year goes, and again, just keep with us every step of the way. We'll see how it goes. But until that day, we still have this year's Royal Rumble to contend with, don't we?
This is the most difficult Royal Rumble in recent memory.
So you know what? Let's get right into it. It's the WWE Royal Rumble 2017.
I am not going to lie. I have zero predictions. I am right now going at it as we go along on this show.
All right, well, let's fire away. First off, we've got, in one of the pre-show matches, we've got Cesaro and Sheamus versus The Club for the Raw Tag Team titles.
Is it sad that this is one of the only matches that I actually had to sit down for a minute and think about it?
No.
No, it really isn't.
Because, okay, the build-up to this match is very weird. Okay, you get the normal build-up for the first couple weeks where they trade victories and all that. They beat each other up on the outside, distracting, and they trade victories. And then that weird tag team title match situation happened.
Yeah, I remember talking about it with him last week about the whole. It's like, wait, so the bad guys are the sympathetic characters because they got robbed of the tag team championship? What?
Yeah. So at that point, I was like, I thought that it was a shoo-in that Sheamus and Cesaro would retain. And I'm still going with that because I stand by my rule that I made last year. I will no longer pick the club to win until they actually show me that they can win on pay-per-view. However, that gave me pause and made me think that the WWE might actually pull the trigger at the Royal Rumble.
On the club?
On the club.
Is that your prediction?
No. Because as I said, I refuse to pick the club again until they show me that they can actually win on pay-per-view.
Okay, I thought you were building up like they did recently.
I'm picking Sheamus and Cesaro, but I will not be surprised. I won't be surprised with this weird and wacky build-up if they give it to the club. But I'm going with Sheamus and Cesaro.
Yeah, honestly, I was thinking about this, and maybe it's just the wishful thinking part of me. But part of me wants to see them pull the trigger on the club already,
and maybe get final blow off Sheamus versus Cesaro at WrestleMania. Because they never finished their series really.
And that's one way that they can do it. They can do the whole big blow off thing. They'll stay as a tag team for a little while longer, just the tension just sort of rises and then eventually just boils over. Well, that's my pick. Fool, who do you got?
I feel like on just sheer principle alone, trying to think with my penis, I'm just gonna go.
Just say it.
I'm just gonna go with Cesaro and Sheamus. I'm actually I'm agreeing with Brian on this one because I remember saying yes, I am down with that. What you said. Until the club actually win the gold, it's very hard to predict them.
Not even the gold, just the match. On pay-per-view, I don't think they've won one.
on a pay-per-view. Oh wow, that's a good thing to look up on.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm not even going to double check it now. I'm not going to back off on any of my picks.
Yeah,
this is the one match I'm just going to throw away because I want both guys. I want both teams to win.
And also, it gives me pause because it's on the pre-show. I don't know if they'll pull the trigger on a title change on the pre-show.
Then again, it's also a very big show, and it's a very stacked card in a lot of ways. So,
you think this is going to be the final match before the event starts?
Oh, I would think so.
I would think so too. That was just the way I put it on the run sheet here.
And breaking news, maybe about an hour ago, it was announced that the 6-woman match for SmackDown was also moved to the pre-show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
So we have 3 pre-show matches. So I guess we'll just move on to that one next.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's go for it.
Since I voted up. So,
yeah, he kind of segued into it.
But this one's obvious, okay? Mickey James just debuted. So the heel team wins.
Yeah.
Mickey James gets the pinfall probably on Naomi.
Okay, so that
was
an easy pick.
But it's a return of a big name women's superstar. She's going on about how dare you call this a revolution? The revolution already took place, and I mean it makes sense.
All right then. Now apparently there's one other match on the pre-show. And that is Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. Not for any titles, just for I don't like you, so I'm gonna beat you up.
It's just
old school.
It's just a random fight.
Yes.
And
here's
my problem with with the build of Nia Jax toward this match. Okay, they've been building her up as a monster heel, trying to, at least. beating down jobber after jobber, taking down Alicia Fox handily, time after time after time, and then all of a sudden it's the WWE way. Okay, and then she has to attack Sasha Banks from behind and waylay her when she's not paying attention, when she's running drills in the ring. I'm like, that does not a monster heel make. A monster heel just comes out after a match and destroys.
Well, that's because
not
she's
from behind. Not from behind. It's like Nia Jax shouldn't need to attack people from behind to get her way and lay the beat down, and that's what the build to this match seemed. Now, Nia Jax will win because the injury gives Sasha Banks an out.
So you're saying Nia Jax goes over?
Nia Jax goes over with Sasha Banks to go over at some point in the future, but the injury to the leg gives Sasha Banks an out. Mm-hmm. So Nia Jax wins.
I'm just going to say this right now. When you were trying to say something of what he was saying, if you were going to say because she's not like most girls, I'm going to slap you.
Did I say anything?
You were going to say that, weren't you?
No, I wasn't. I was going to say she was being a bully.
Okay.
More specifically, she's a bully.
Okay.
Not a monster heel.
Thank God damn it, I brought it upon myself to bring that up.
Yeah, you can only have yourself to blame.
Damn. I'm picking Nia Jax as well, because Sasha Banks is not going to get her big win on a pre-show. And with the old school tactic, she got the upper hand on Raw, which doesn't make a lick of sense, because, she's trying to sell a knee injury, but she does that knee stomp from the apron onto Nia Jax's shoulders.
If they just stuck with the crutch shots and that knocked Nia Jax out of the ring, then it would have been gravy. But then, okay, you got bum knees. Well, with a bum knee, you could still swing a crutch. So it's like,
you can't do a double knee stomp.
You can't do a double knee stomp and get up
and walk away like it was nothing
and saunter up the ramp like you didn't just land on your very badly hurt knee.
I have pretty weak knees. And there was one time where my knees were just in so much pain. I dropped on them. It hurt like hell. She did not do well at selling me she has a quote-unquote injury.
So in other words, this is pure storyline fodder. And you know what? For that reason, and just for the reasons you described, I'm going to join you in thinking that Nia Jax wins. Pretty straightforward, it seems like. Anywho, now we're moving on to the main card. And for the first match I've got here, we've got for the Cruiserweight title, we've got Neville versus the champion Lucio from Overwatch. Who do you got?
Okay, Rich Swann.
Nice.
Lucio from Overwatch is very very. I find it ironic because of the color of his skin. But he's. I feel like with his character, he's the definition of a vanilla midget.
Really?
First of all, the promo that he cut on Raw, okay, I didn't like it at all.
The one where he called Neville out.
The one where he called him a court jester. I didn't like. I didn't like it. And I don't like the dancing and all that is fine, but it's a gimmick to me that does not work in the age in 2017. The fan friendly thing he's doing no, and then you got Neville. Okay, who should have been the face of the division from the get-go. And he's playing the heel. You just turned him heel. He's being all badass with himself. If he doesn't win the title at the Royal Rumble, then you basically just screwed all that up. So
you're going Neville.
Neville wins the title, and Rich Swann, to me, needs a rework. The athleticism is there, but I need more character out of him for him to be a champion.
I'm going to slightly disagree with you on that. I like the jester comment. I just don't like how he said it.
Basically, yeah.
I actually like that, and I like that he's actually developing a character where he's just like, I'm sick of this bullshit of you always attacking me from behind, so I'm calling you out right now. So come and face me like a man. I see that as character evolution.
The way that
a lot more than T.J. Perkins ever did when he was cruiserweight champion. He did with Brian Kendrick.
But here's the problem. Okay, for me, I need that before you become champion. If you do it as the champion, it's like, why were you the champion in the first place? That's my thing. I always thought that Cedric Alexander should have gotten the shot first because he had a character, he had stuff going on and all that. But Rich Swann got it, and the matches that he had with Brian Kendrick were great. But it goes back to the T.J. Perkins thing. I like the fact that he tried to evolutionize the character in the last couple weeks.
Who, Rich Swann or
Rich Swann?
Okay,
but
it was like T.J. Perkins.
But for me, it's too little, too late when you have to do an evolution of your character in the last couple weeks of your title reign. Because once Neville came back, it was only a matter of time.
Oh yeah.
So it's like I need a character evolution on the way to becoming champion for me to believe you as champion.
But with such short time, the cruiserweight division has been around and people have had time to develop the characters. I feel like if they did it right away, it would be too rushed. But there's two sides of the sword on that one. I think no matter what, there's gonna be some aspect of us that are not happy with it.
We're not happy with T.J. Perkins because he was the first cruiserweight champion. He had no character whatsoever.
All they just gave it a bunch of '90s references.
They gave it to him because of the matches that he had in the cruiserweight.
And you know what?
Classic.
I totally agree with you, Fool. That's like, I feel the exact same way. That early on, all you had were just wrestling ability in matches.
But here's the problem. Okay, with Rich Swann, okay, it was what? 4-5 months down the line.
Well, because the only
he had 5 months to develop a character before he became champion.
I think he has it now more than ever because the main focus of that cruiserweight division was Brian Kendrick and T.J. Perkins. That was the only one that they were giving time to. And now that he has the belt and he's having the time, and now that he has someone like the king of cruiserweights, Neville, which he's going to be my prediction, so we can put it down. He is on such a hot streak right now. I don't think he's lost a match since he's came back.
Nope.
He's on a tough streak, and his character
makes sense.
And yeah, he is now Triple H of the cruiserweights.
That's really the best way to put it.
Yeah. He is
the crownless king.
The crownless king, and he's getting his
and he's forcing his will upon all of the cruiserweights, and it's the best storyline that the cruiserweight division has had since its inception by far. So you need to reward that with a title victory,
and he's going to get it this
because if you don't, then it discredits everything you did in the past 6 weeks.
You know, I'm just going to go out on record saying this right now. Fool, I really can't even remember the last time I ever shared so much of the same opinion with you. Like, everything I was about to say to him, you just said, like, almost the exact same words. I'm like, what, are you me? What the hell is this? Like,
well, you know how I feel about the cruiserweight division. I remember us having a big debate about it, which we still have to have because I'm being proven right with what's going on with the cruiserweight division. And they're actually doing something right with, from what I've read, they're actually moving 205 to before SmackDown, which again
they have to.
Which because they're realizing that the cruiserweight 205 Live is one of their worst shows on the network, or worst watched shows. And I feel like watching it before SmackDown will help the crowd get into the SmackDown and be more time to develop them.
Yeah, that was just a bad idea all around to have it after SmackDown, after the what is it before that? Superstars, and
You mean
they
before
have a dark
SmackDown?
match. They have a
They
dark
just have
match.
dark matches. There wasn't anything before SmackDown the past few
Okay,
weeks.
you have an hour of dark matches. Okay, you have 2 hours of SmackDown, and then you have an hour of 205 Live. Why not just have, instead of dark matches, have the hour of 205 Live beforehand? You get the crowd into it with some flippy floppy cruiserweight division, some high flying action.
What are they, dying fish?
Some
Flippy
good,
floppy?
some good,
He's got his swing trunks and his flippy floppies.
some good wrestling, and then you knock it off with SmackDown. So it was a bad move from the start to have it afterwards.
But yeah.
So
Well,
it's
yeah,
about
now
time they got their head out.
All
of their ass.
scheduling aside, just to wrap up this train of thought, I totally agree with you on every single point. The more I see out of Rich Swann, again, on paper, the whole singing, dancey, funky gimmick would be a complete buzzkill. But when it's done right, I'm a big believer that it can be a ton of fun. Like, I love funky gimmicks. And the more I see out of someone like Rich Swann, the more I'm... All joking aside, all Overwatch jokes aside, I actually legitimately like the guy.
I like the guy too.
Way more than I
like
did
the
TJ
guy.
Perkins.
I like the guy, but I need more time to appreciate the character that he's becoming. I need that dancing character to get an edge.
He's
And
gonna
now
get
that,
one.
and now
I
that,
think this is the chance.
yeah,
I really think this is a
this
chance.
is the chance to put Rich Swann over in a losing fashion.
And you know what? That's why I'm going to third that vote, and I'm going to say Neville takes this and extends the feud.
He'll do better as a chaser than
Yeah.
as the champion.
As most wrestlers do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Rich
But
Swann is in
Neville,
the step
yeah.
of the right direction, and
Yeah.
Neville's just awesome.
Bingo. Bingo, bye-bye. Next up, we have yet another of however many odds championship matches we got. For the Raw Women's title, we've got Charlotte Flair versus Bayley.
If I learned one thing in the past is from I think it was the last event. Don't doubt Charlotte's undefeated streak.
Seconded.
We're
gonna keep that going
I've
for
done
a
it
while.
once. Never again.
Charlotte wins via nefarious means.
Oh yeah, this is
to-
not going to be a clean victory.
leading to Bayley coming out on top at WrestleMania to finally end the undefeated streak. But Charlotte's not losing.
Charlotte is not losing. At
Charlotte's
this event.
not losing until then. Okay, and first of all, you shouldn't reward Bayley for that crappy poetry promo.
I thought
from 2 weeks ago.
it was crappy, but it was also endearing because, again,
No,
no
it
one
was
other than Bayley could have pulled that off.
You should have seen us while watching that promo.
We were
like,
I told him this last week.
can't.
We were it was way too long, and most of the time was on Charlotte.
Most of the time was on Charlotte, but it was like
It was just them stretching to get time for that 3
the
hours.
poetry stuff took too long. Okay, they could have done one and ended there. They did like 5. No, but yeah, but I can see Charlotte winning via nefarious means, and then Bayley attacking after the match. As I said, I need my fan favorite characters with an edge. Okay, you've had the fan Bayley, the ever loving, the hugger. Okay, give her an edge so that I can go into WrestleMania being like, okay, this is my women's champion. Okay, if she wins at WrestleMania the way she is now, the character's all well and good, but I need some spark there, and with poetry readings and all that, no, not for me. So
all the more reason why I think this is just the beginning of their feud.
Yeah, like there needs to be an attack after the match from Bayley, or not tomorrow night, the next night after on Raw, and or it's just back to the drawing board.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Charlotte wins. It's got to be by cheating. Okay, you can't have Bayley go down clean.
Your favorite female wrestler is going to show up, Brian.
Fuck you. That's it.
I don't even have to say her name.
For a second there, I thought you legitimately meant Becky Lynch. I'm like, why would that happen? I'm like,
oh, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. You're being silly. All right.
Oh, but the point still stands.
Indeed.
Needs to be cheating. Can't go down clean, or you might as well kill Bayley's character now.
Pretty much. Anyway, now we're getting into the big ones. Let's talk about this next match, AJ Styles versus John Cena. Boys, how does this go?
Let me start it off by saying this. Okay, there's 2 title matches. The 2 challengers cannot both win. Okay, because if they do, here comes the crowd shitting over the Royal Rumble again. The event as a whole, yes. Okay. I see John Cena coming out on top of this match. AJ Styles has beat him 3 times in a row. Okay. John Cena's come back with some edge to his character. The My Time Is Now stuff seems to be going a heelish route. Won't turn heel, but have edge to his character, which is something I like to see after the same old shit we've been seeing for the last 10 years. And I feel like... Do I feel like this was the right time? No, I feel like this could have been like a WrestleMania match. Okay, you're going to tie the record for world championship wins. You should do it at WrestleMania, not at the Royal Rumble. But if you're going to do it now. And I don't see AJ Styles coming out on top 4 times in a row. So, I see John Cena taking this one. Does he go into WrestleMania the champion? Who knows? Because Elimination Chamber is next month, and anything can happen.
Hell, Elimination Chamber's in 2 weeks.
But I feel like mostly it's to stop the next match. But there's also logic involved in my picking of John Cena.
The more I think about it, I've got my own train of thought here. I'm going to go with John Cena as well, just because, for no other reason than the potential storyline opportunities that can open up later on in the year, and maybe even later on in the night, which I will get into now. I will get into later, but as far as just one of these matches, it frees AJ Styles to do other things, like, say, maybe face The Undertaker, maybe, kinda?
Possibly, but I feel they're going a different way.
They could go any number of different ways, which makes it so difficult to call, but for the time being, I think it's a pretty safe bet in my eyes to go with John Cena on this one. Fool, what's your pick?
This is a very difficult match for me. I'm thinking about what both of you guys said, because I said at the beginning, I have all these predictions that I'm doing. I'm deciding them right now. I have zero time to really plan this out, and I'm just thinking about what you guys said, and I'm just thinking about how the past couple weeks have been on SmackDown wise. And the one thing that is really that's really being the tipping factor with me is the promo that AJ Styles and John Cena had this past week for the Go Home show. Excuse me. They both had some really big jabs at each other. One with John Cena, with AJ Styles telling John Cena, "You're like the whole, once again, not being the whole wrestler. It's like you're the worst excuse for a wrestler" type deal that we've heard hundreds of times.
But what really is settling the score for me is what John Cena particularly was saying, is that he's pulling those heelish tactics of saying you're just a guy holding the belt for me, and that once I beat you, people will look at it as me burying you. And I feel like those are just those jabs were hit very hard. I feel like they really shouldn't have John Cena be proven right with those real assumptions, especially it's like, oh yeah, AJ Styles is nothing more than the guy just warming up the belt for Cena's 16th World Championship, and his championship and his wins against Cena in the past is more like flukes because John Cena's letting him win, or that whatever bullshit he was trying to say. I feel like if John Cena wins, it would basically say everything I said on SmackDown is right. You are trying to be a John Cena ripoff. You are the face that you are assuming you're the face that runs the place as like the champ is here. Why? I'm going to just pull devil's advocate here, and I'm going to say AJ Styles retains the title because I just don't want what Cena said about AJ Styles this week to come true.
You do, in all fairness, you do bring up a pretty good point about that. Their promo has been legitimately, that promo was legitimately good.
It was very good. And I feel like if they want to give Cena his 16th time championship, I feel like the only place to give it is on a stage like WrestleMania.
And that can be the big storyline going into it, where he's like, oh, my career is winding down. I'm not as young as I used to be. I want to win my 16th title reign, and I want to tie Ric Flair. I want to do it on the biggest stage of them all, take on whoever may.
And here's my problem with that. Okay, it would mean 3 more months of this feud. It's been going on since June.
Well, Cena's going to be...
It's time for both of them to move on. Okay, but it goes back to my point. I don't care about the promos and all that. During this entire feud from June on, the promos have been fire. The promos have been on fire. They're both jabbing at each other in harsh ways the entire time. And AJ Styles has been proving John Cena wrong every step of the way. This is not the first time that John Cena has said this stuff. It's just different now that AJ Styles is a champion. You add one little hitch. But John Cena's been saying the same thing since June. So that's why that particular promo doesn't hit me the same way that it hit you. What's going through my head is AJ Styles beat John Cena really 4 times when you think about it.
If you're including that triple threat match, it really doesn't count because he pinned Dean Ambrose.
I thought he pinned Cena.
Did he pin Cena?
He pinned Cena.
Oh wow, I need to look that up.
I need to look that again.
I'm almost certain he pinned Cena because that also sent Cena out of the company for 3 months.
I need to look at that
so
again. It wouldn't be online. We'd have to watch it.
So it's one of those... AJ Styles has beat John Cena basically cleanly 3 times. Beat him via shenanigan. No. Okay, he beat him clean twice. And he beat him via shenanigans 1 time. Because I forgot that John Cena and Enzo and Cass won the 6-man tag. Yep. But he beat him 3 times. Okay, time for John Cena to get his singles win back. And I feel like no matter what, he goes into WrestleMania the champion. Whether it's Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber, and I would rather that that kind of victory, like a tying championship victory, come in a 1-on-1 singles match instead of a 6-man Elimination Chamber where AJ Styles, where it might not come down to Cena and Styles. So as much as I see where you're coming from, I'm sticking with I have to stick with Cena. It makes a lot of sense to me.
It does make a lot of sense. Like I said, I'm playing a devil's advocate here, and I'm just basically choosing it because I don't like the idea of like, oh yeah, what Cena said is true. You are just the guy. You are just a guy. You're not. You are trying so hard to be John Cena. I guess that promo just really hit me hard because I feel like they should give AJ Styles more credit than that.
Well, what if John Cena wins via heel tactics?
It would be I wouldn't argue it if it was through a heel, like something similar. Like
none of this Baron Corbin shit.
Yeah,
what happened in that match? Fuck that.
I could see, like have him be doing something similar, to Stone Cold beating the hell out of The Rock, minus the Vince McMahon part.
Yeah.
Stone Cold beating the hell out of beating the hell out of The Rock with a chair multiple times just so he can try and have it be a double turn.
Yeah.
That'll be the one real way I'll really accept Cena really winning the belt. If it was a double turn and Cena would just completely annihilate AJ Styles with a chair just so he can get the belt, so he can be a 16-time champ. I feel like once he wins that belt, he has to turn heel because it's the one thing people haven't wanted with John Cena. People don't want him to tie with Ric Flair. I don't want him to tie with Ric Flair. Ric Flair earned those 16 times. Cena was just... He's just like, oh, we'll just continue having him lose it so he can win it the next month, so he can just continuously add numbers.
And you know what? That's why it doesn't bother me, because there's really no replicating the kind of 16-time World Championship title reigns that someone like Ric Flair had. Title changes were much rarer in his day. Mm-hmm. Not to mention he got them from all his world titles from all the different territories and blah 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 blah.
Like there was
so even if he does break it, it won't even matter that much to me because the title reigns are not equivalent.
Because I remember that time one year where John Cena and Edge just kept flip flopping the WWE title.
I said, that was the thing. It happened every month.
It's one of those like I don't see. If John Cena gets like 2 more reigns and becomes the all-time championship leader, it still won't resonate with me. Ric Flair will still always be...
I can be honest. I prefer Triple H to tie the record first. Because with his title reigns, he actually... it wasn't just hot potatoing the title. Yeah. He actually kept winning because he's that damn good.
Yeah. John Cena had one good... title.
Triple H is 14 time, right?
14.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
John Cena had one good long title run. Okay, but after that, 3 months tops on his title wins after that? Like he had his first one, I think it was. Didn't he hold it for like a year?
I don't know.
Or was that 2007 when he was going through the Great Khali and all that noise?
Honestly, off the top of my head, I don't know.
I don't know. It's the Cena reign of terror sort of, after a while, sort of seems like a blur to me. That's another thing I'm going to have to go back and take a look at. But anyway, moving on to our second of 2 men's world title matches for the evening. We've got Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal title. Gentlemen, who do you got?
There are 2 ways that this can go.
Bad or worse.
With Chris Jericho over the ring in a shark cage. Okay. He can toss a little weapon down. Kevin Owens uses it to his advantage and Kevin Owens wins and retains. Or Chris Jericho throws a weapon down, Roman Reigns gets to it first, uses it on Kevin Owens. Chris Jericho costs Kevin Owens, his best friend, the Universal title. Now, I know which one I want to see happen because I want that match at WrestleMania to be for the championship.
I think I see where you're going with this.
But, and also, you made them both look like jackasses on Monday. Okay, you made them look like morons, idiots, and just farces compared to Roman Reigns on Monday. If you follow that up by Roman Reigns winning the title at the Royal Rumble, I'm out.
So you're saying your guess is Kevin Owens?
Kevin Owens retains. It's. I can see them going the other way, and that annoys the shit out of me. But it's one of those. If you're gonna make them look that bad on the go home show, you better not kill it off with a loss.
Fool, what do you got?
Actually, I want to hear what you have first, because this is another one that I like. I need to hear what you have to say.
Again, I agree with you. This could really go either way, especially on a big show like this. I can see either one of these things happening. But again, without going too much into Royal Rumble territory here, but it's kind of you can't help but sort of weave the two together on a certain level. I'm going to go with Kevin Owens, and the deciding factor is it opens up the idea to me of Sami Zayn winning the Royal Rumble and going on to WrestleMania to face Kevin Owens in the main event. I'm not saying it's necessarily going to happen, but it's just that possibility that sort of opens it up to me. Because otherwise, I'm thinking someone like Roman Reigns, through brute force of WWE's part, they've already had him win the Royal Rumble before. They've already had him win the title in the main event of WrestleMania before. They got that out of the way, much to the chagrin of the audience. They saw how many people were booing at WrestleMania. They saw how many people were booing at the Royal Rumble. They got it out of the way. They got the little pet project stuff out of the way. And whether or not people like Roman Reigns or not, I think it's way too soon for them to try and roll the dice the exact same way that they did last year. So everything just seems better when Kevin Owens wins, so I'm just going to go with Kevin Owens. Fool, what do you think?
I guarantee you this, though, the result of this match is once again at the beck and call of Chris Jericho.
Oh, you know it is. You know
it has
it is.
to be. Yeah.
Oh, God. Man,
tough call, right?
This is very tough. Like, do I pull another, like, no big title changes hands at this event, like how I predicted? Or do I have to do that whole thing like, okay, one world title changes hands and the other one doesn't, and I already picked the one that doesn't? Jesus Christ.
Don't you dare.
I'm not going to
follow your...
If I'm going to have to choose, I'm just going to have to choose with how, like what Brian said, how they looked at the go home show. And it's just that logic with one guy looking strong, making the other one looks like a complete idiot. Shit. Damn, this is very hard. Because they've done pretty much the past 3 years have been when it comes to the WrestleMania season, it's been Roman Reigns on top. He wins the Rumble. He wins the Rumble. He gets the title match.
I actually have a prediction on how they can top for Roman Reigns for WrestleMania. No matter what happens,
they're just so high on.
I think you know where I'm going with Roman Reigns for WrestleMania season.
I'm not sure.
You know what?
The one way that they can top the fuckery of the last 2 years.
Honestly, at this point, I don't even want to go there.
I think
I'm just to hell with it. I'm just gonna pick Kevin Owens. Scared you, didn't I?
Yeah, there was too much negativity in there. Yeah, I mean, worried there for a second.
It's very hard because I can see them because how much Vince McMahon loves Roman Reigns. It's very hard to be like, okay, I could just see him just eating through the competition and winning the belt. Hell, he did that with the League of Nations. the League of Nations were no challenge to him, and it was four of their top guys, or three of their top guys, and Wade Barrett.
Oh boy.
This is.
So yeah, Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Kevin Owens.
All right. Again, there's only. It's
I
one
just
of
have
those
a
cases
feel-
where you're just going. We could spin our wheels all night.
I just have a feeling I'm not gonna do well when it comes to predictions this year.
Well, in any case,
It's only January. Buck up.
Yeah, right. But it's one of the
It's
big.
a long year.
One of the big four, man.
It's a long year.
but anyway. Speaking of predictions, let's just jump right into the big one, the Royal Rumble match itself. First of all, the winner. Who wins it?
My
Brian?
dark horse, and I told Tarek before, Scholar Tarek.
For the sake
before
of this
we
prediction, we'll only put in one winner.
No dark horse.
Okay, if Kevin Owens wins, Chris Jericho wins. If Roman Reigns wins, Undertaker wins.
So that's why you're going with this.
Yes, because the result, my winner changes based on the result of the Universal title match. That's where I was going with that. Dark horse, Finn Balor if he returns. That's it.
I know there's so many different. In all honesty, there's so many different ways this could go. It's actually been booked very beautifully in that regard.
But it comes down to storylines and what I think the WWE could force upon us if a certain situation happens, where the result of the match changes based on the winner of the Universal title match. I don't think SmackDown has a shot of winning because they have the Elimination Chamber X pay-per-view. So storylines based on WrestleMania will go through that.
I think they both have pay-per-views. I think both Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, but they have the Elimination Chamber before the draft always was the setup for WrestleMania. So I'm going with whoever wins will face the Universal Champion, and if Kevin Owens wins, Chris Jericho will win, and they'll have that United States Universal title main event of WrestleMania. If Roman Reigns wins, they're going to try to put him over the Undertaker.
All right. So if you had to gun to your head, if you had to pick a name right now,
I picked Kevin Owens to win the Universal title match, so I'm picking Chris Jericho.
all right, Chris. I've actually been hearing that name around a lot lately. So
And
it's
Mark
very
Sami-
interesting the kinds of scenarios I've heard people come up with.
And Mark Sami Zayn down as a Final Four participant. They gave him the Dean Ambrose spot from last year.
Yeah, I can definitely see him lasting a while, assuming he doesn't win it. Fool, who do you got?
It's a pretty hard one. Consider I'm repeating what Brian said. Looking back on the storylines that have been building to this event, I don't see a full timer winning the Rumble. I feel like it's either a debuting star, a part timer, or a returning star. The people who have been on the show frequently, I haven't seen any of them see them to a point where pushing them to the main event at WrestleMania, which no matter what happens, if the winner of this match and the champion who he decides to face do not close WrestleMania, it'll piss me off, because that's the whole point of the Royal Rumble. I hate it.
I think they're going with Lesnar and Goldberg to end the Royal Rumble, to end the WrestleMania. That's the rumor going around right now.
It's just
it's a tough call. It's a very, very tough year.
it is a very tough
It's
year.
about damn time we've had one of these years.
I'll tell you what. Would you like me to make my prediction first?
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, again, like you, I've had a lot of trouble with this one. I've gone back and forth a bunch of times. There's like 3 people on my mind that have the highest chance of winning. I do agree with you. I think it's going to be a Raw guy. for me, it comes down to, like I said, Sami Zayn. I think he's got a good, strong chance of winning this if Kevin Owens retains the Universal title. I think that a returning Finn Balor, if he's healthy enough and gets cleared by doctors, I think he could come in as a surprise entrant and, if not win it, then probably come close, like maybe Final Four, and maybe go on to face The Undertaker. But ultimately, I'm gonna have to go with who I've been hearing is the odds-on favorite, and someone who's obvious enough that I can see WWE booking staff doing it just out of principle alone. And I'm gonna go with my gut and just say Goldberg. There's a good solid chance he might not, but just knowing the way WWE does things and has done things lately, I can see them making a sort of a quote-unquote big obvious move like this.
If we talk surprise entrance, I've got a story for Goldberg, Lesnar, and a surprise entrant.
Well, before we get into that,
yeah,
Fool, pick to win.
Like I said, looking back on just how big they've been building these characters, these wrestlers, and the Royal Rumble itself. God damn it.
You gotta pick a name.
I know, I do gotta pick a name. And I'm trying to think, who does WWE want to see close WrestleMania? That's the $1 million question.
And you know what? That's part of the problem in my eyes. There's so many good people who can conceivably fill that spot that it makes this Royal Rumble almost impossible to predict 100%. But you gotta pick one.
I know, I do gotta pick one. And just trying to think, they're trying to bring back the nostalgia and just how things were booked in the past. I could see them. I'm gonna pick Goldberg.
Goldberg?
I'm gonna pick Goldberg. I feel like we were expecting it. We were expecting something big to happen with Lesnar and Goldberg at Survivor Series, and then all of a sudden, like I said, they pulled nostalgia and just brought in the old Goldberg that was just a dominant force and took down the biggest dog that they have with Brock Lesnar.
I think that they're building to the big. It's now 1-1. Okay, Lesnar and Goldberg. I think Lesnar gets heat on Goldberg so that there's a reason for them to have the final rematch. I think Lesnar eliminates Goldberg. Okay, I think Samoa Joe will debut.
Oh, I think Joe's debuting too.
I think Joe will debut. And if you want a debuting moment for Samoa Joe, okay, Lesnar's taunting Goldberg. Goldberg's on the outside of the ring. Who eliminates Lesnar? Samoa Joe.
I'll tell you what.
That'll build to a SummerSlam match.
While we're talking
Lesnar versus Joe.
While we're talking about it, you know there's going to be some surprise entrants.
Oh, yeah.
I'm totally in agreement that Samoa Joe is going to be one of them. Any other predictions for surprise entrants while we're talking about the Rumble? Because I got one.
I don't think... if Samoa Joe is debuting, I do not think that Kurt Angle comes into the Royal Rumble.
No, I don't think so. I'm sure. I think, if anything, he might be a special attraction match at WrestleMania, but not tonight.
Yeah.
As far as surprise entries alongside Samoa Joe, I think we're going to see... I think we're going to see the United Kingdom champion Tyler Bate.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely seeing him.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Just, making a showing for himself, show off the new brand, what the UK talent is capable of. I think he'll have a good showing for himself. But, again, I can see him sort of just doing the usual, stay a little bit longer than the usual guest spot, just sort of show off what he can do. Kind of what guys like Rusev did on his debut.
Yeah.
Just, getting some good spots in, give the audience the mainline audience, a little taste of what they can see.
But I just feel like... I feel like they're continuing the Goldberg-Lesnar storyline. And as evidenced by what happened on Raw, yeah, The Undertaker came out, but that was basically Lesnar's first return. That was basically Lesnar coming out and saying he wants more of Goldberg. So it's like I feel like they cancel each other out, and that's why I never even thought for a second that they had a shot of winning. If I can see Goldberg facing Reigns at Fastlane. I can see that, but I don't think I think that Lesnar is too embarrassed to just let Goldberg go. I think that the only possible thing that happens at the Royal Rumble is Lesnar eliminates Goldberg.
It's a possibility. I'm just right now looking back on my predictions. I'm like, I think I'm just gonna have to rely more on my numbers, the numbers that I choose more than anything.
And for me, if Owens wins, Goldberg doesn't make sense. Goldberg versus Owens doesn't make sense to me. I think if Reigns wins, there's a shot of it happening based on the double spear and the stare down and all that noise. But with Owens, no. I think Owens, there's a very specific route that you can go, and it's one of two people. It's Jericho. It's one of three people, because Finn Balor never really lost his title, and Owens was the one who took it after that. You make easy money with Zayn and Owens. You don't even have to do anything. You don't have to make the feud anything special. Just go. They know a way to do it themselves. And you've got the Jericho Owens thing, the implosion, because you know it's coming. You know the implosion's coming, and what better way to implode than Jericho winning the Rumble and slowly going, I want both titles. That's it.
All right then. Well, those are the predictions in the books. Any closing thoughts on the Royal Rumble as a whole?
Not a big fan of my predictions. I just really, at least the final,
at
least the main events wise, I'm not a fan of my predictions.
Yeah, I don't feel 100% confident. I don't feel confident at all. But
you know what? That's
what makes it more exciting.
Here's the good thing about that. Going into a show like the Royal Rumble, you should not feel confident about your predictions. The more confident you feel about your predictions, the more predictable the shows are. How confident were you all in your predictions last year for every damn show?
Pretty confident. Pretty confident.
So the Royal Rumble not being predictable, us not really liking our predictions going into the show, I feel it's a good thing.
I agree. But you know what? Now is the time to make predictions count more than ever, especially in this year since, of course, it's the Royal Rumble, so that means the return of the WWE Royal Rumble game that we do every single year. So, of course, if you haven't gotten the memo already, quick rundown on how it works. First, go on Facebook, look up the game, the WWE Royal Rumble game 2017, sponsored by the Scholars of Wrestling. Put in your predictions, put in your choice of 3 numbers, 1 through 30, along with the person you think is going to win the Royal Rumble match. The person the wrestlers who come out the numbers you choose will score points for you, depending on how many people they eliminate and how well they do during the match. And at the end of the night, the person who scores the most points not only wins the Royal Rumble game, but will win the prize of a WWE Slam Crate. Yes, we're actually putting a prize on the line this time. So take your time, but not too much time. The Royal Rumble is this weekend. Make your picks, put in your predictions, and see how well you do, and play against the entire Scholars of Wrestling community.
When does entries close?
Entries close 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the night of the Royal Rumble, this Sunday.
Good stuff.
So getting your stuff in, and then once 5 o'clock hits on the East Coast, everything's locked in. No more last-minute predictions. So get in your predictions now, plug away, and we'll see you at the Royal Rumble.
It's the most fun I've had watching pay-per-views since 2012 because I wasn't involved in 2011 because I was too busy crowing about, but you already knew that.
But you know what? We also want to hear what you think on every single conceivable medium. I seriously love the wrestling discussion on weekends like this. So you know what? We want to hear from you too. So of course, if you like what you hear, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, subscribe if you'd like to hear new episodes every single week. Of course, you can also like our page on Facebook. Just run a search for the Scholars of Wrestling Show. And if you want to have live running commentary to all the big major shows, you can also follow us on our Twitter machines. You can find us at Scholars OW. That's our main page for all the latest episode uploads, including this one. And of course, you can follow us for live commentary on our personal Twitter machines. Fool, where can they reach you?
You can reach me at the Avatar.
Brian.
You can reach me at Atomic Beanpole.
And you can reach me at I'm Robbie Rage, all one word.
Yay!
And that's it. Yay!
Now you're just adding, and that's it. That's like your official thing now.
Yeah, I gotta break up the flow somehow. Otherwise, I just keep on going, and I never shut up.
And you just flub your words.
And I flub my words like a flubby guy. But anyway, that's all for this week. We got enough to look forward to, including an NXT TakeOver event, which I almost forgot about, and we didn't have time to get to this week.
That's gonna be glorious.
Okay, well, I'm not sure if we can count that as a prediction.
No.
Maybe
No.
Okay,
We're just
too soon. Too
Too
soon.
soon.
We're
Okay.
just simply stating the facts.
Anyway, you know what's another fact? We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome. See you all at the Royal Rumble.